To come. First, the women's final. And here they come. Monica Seles against Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. They're on the court and ready. They've been ready a long time. So have we.
So that's the ladies' final. It'll be coming up shortly on Stadium Court after that marathon match between Stefan Edberg and Michael Chang. Edberg through to the men's final, and we'll find out a little later on who he'll be playing against in the final. Courier and Sampras, the second of the semi-finals. Edberg winning 6-7, 7-5, 7-6, 5-7, 6-4. An absolute marathon match, 5 hours, 25 minutes.
Brian back here at the National Tennis Center. Coming up here at the U.S. Open, the Women's Championship. It will be the champion, Monica Seles, of a year ago against number 5 seed Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, when we return with more from the National Tennis Center. Here at the U.S. Open after a 5-hour and 26-minute match, men's semifinal, Edberg over Chang. Both players taken directly to the locker room to be rehydrated. They are both all right, but they have been given some time to prepare for the press conference just because of the length of time they were out there, and of course a pretty hot afternoon here at the U.S. Open. Bright sunny skies, a gorgeous day, but it was very hot on court, and certainly for the players to be out there that long was very taxing indeed, as you can well see. Upcoming now, the Women's Championship match, a sellout crowd on hand, and Monica Seles will be taking on Arantxa Sanchez Vicario in what should be yet another exciting match on Super Saturday. And later, the second men's semifinal, Pete Sampras and Jim Courier. And let's go to Pat Summerall, Mary Carrillo, and Tony Trabert.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Another highlight match coming your way. Tony, what about Monica Seles?
Well, you know, she's the #1 player in the world, seeded #1 here. Like last year, she won the Australian and the French. Last year, she didn't play Wimbledon. This year, she was runner-up. I picked her from the start to win. She's had a very easy time really coming through, 1-7-5 set. She has not felt well a couple of days, had a sore throat, a little temperature. They say she's fine. I think she's just too tough. She's playing a good opponent, no question about that. It should be a fun match, but I think Monica Seles will be the Open champion.
And Mary, your thoughts about her opponent?
Well, Monica's not a bad little pick. There's no two ways about it. But Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, if Monica is not at the top of her game, this is the kind of player who can beat her. She will slice, she will dice, she will retrieve everything. You know, when you look at her game, she's got a very all-court game. She's really improved a lot of departments. And you look at it and you think, well, she doesn't have enough to really beat Seles. But what she can do is she can try to make Seles beat herself, and Seles has been off form. There's no two ways about it.
Well, they're
ready for play.
On court, set to go. Waiting for the crowd to settle down now.
Slide, please, ladies and gentlemen.
And if they're waiting for that, there'll be a long wait.
Seats, please.
You know, this crowd is still abuzz with that last match.
Well, you have to be.
Yeah, and they're all excited about it. Monica Seles, you can see #1, that's the key there. Trying to defend her title.
Monica Seles to serve. Play.
They just can't get the crowd settled down enough.
Seles at the top of your picture. And here is how she got here, Tony.
1-7-5 set. 1-6-4 set. The rest are love 6-1, 6-2s. Mary Jo Fernandez 6-3, 6-2.
Monica Seles only had to beat 1 seed to get to the final, and that's sort of a surprise.
Well, they're not waiting for the crowd to get back and get seated and get settled. Let's get on with it.
They've waited long enough.
Yeah.
That's exactly
why.
right. And I honestly feel that the women do a much better job of playing through, playing quicker in between points and playing through crowds than the guys. The guys take way too much time in between points.
Couldn't agree with you more.
I'm sure there's got to be a psychological reason for that.
Once again, it's a guy thing.
30-15.
This is what Mary is talking about, slicing and dicing. Little drop shot, get her out of position. I like the way Arantxa has that bounce to her. She really moves well. She's bouncy and bubbly and just loves to play.
Pleasantly cocky. She'll come off a good win. And she'll say, yes, I played very, very well.
Yeah.
I thought dicing was something you did to food, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Monica still makes a noise when she hits all out on a shot, but it's not what it once was. A lot of controversy, a lot of discussion about grunting, and
particularly at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Came up there.
They both make a noise. She really just goes about her business and
both
plays hard.
Fast players.
Game to Seles. She wins the first game of the first set of this women's final. National Tennis Center, Flushing Meadows, New York. The women's final just underway. Monica Seles. Arantxa Sanchez Vicario.
15 love.
Only 20 years old. And she is just, as you can see, she's already played an awful lot of tennis. She enters the singles, doubles, and mixed in the Grand Slam. She's the busiest woman in tennis. Her only set drop was in the very first set to Shevchenko Nyland. Seles was at the top of the draw. She was supposed to have played Helena Sukova, Jennifer Capriati, and Gabriela Sabatini, but they all fell out. And on the bottom half of the draw, on Arantxa Sanchez Vicario's, Conchita Martinez, also from Spain, lost first round, and of course Martina Navratilova lost. Maggie Maleva.
That Michigan Notre Dame score, by the way, was final.
30-all.
So there really were some surprises in the way the semis shook out. Disappointing semifinals for the women. Lopsided. Straight setters. But these have proven to be the two best these last few weeks.
We're live at the USTA's National Tennis Center on Super Saturday. Flushing Meadows, New York, over by Shea Stadium, LaGuardia Airport. Monica Seles won the first game of this championship earlier today in a grueling, sensational match. Edberg beat Chang, 5 sets. Edberg then will be in the finals again against the winner of a match to come up later here on CBS. The other semifinal, Sampras and Courier.
I love what Michael Chang said after the match, that he's got to work a little harder. As though his work ethic was in question.
How can you work harder?
Advantage Seles.
First double of the day gives Seles a big opportunity that she's been unwell, I think, and that she lost to Arantxa Sanchez Vicario for the first time in 11 meetings just 2 weeks ago. I actually think works against Sanchez Vicario. Seles will try to win this quickly.
Game to Seles.
This was that last point, and that two-hander angled cross court. Sanchez Vicario could not get there.
Seles has been suffering from congestion, chest congestion brought about by air conditioning. Says she feels better, and it certainly looks to be the truth.
Yeah, in that Canadian Open just 2 weeks ago, Sanchez Vicario winning in 3, and as I said, that could be the worst thing that could have happened to Arantxa. Seles now knows how well she's playing and does not want to lose to her twice. Seles has only lost in 1 Grand Slam final out of 7, and that was this year to Steffi Graf. And she really put in an unusually poor performance. She didn't seem to have a lot of energy, a lot of concentration,
At Wimbledon.
a lot of fire. Yeah, at Wimbledon. Graf just killed her.
Well, you would suspect that grass would be Seles's worst surface and perhaps Graf's best surface. Again, this is one of those situations that when Seles gets this angled ball, she can go around the net post. It does not have to be as high as the net, and if that had landed in and Arantxa couldn't get to it, it would have been her point. tremendous two-hander there, and this one is wide. .40-30.
Seles has won the first 2 games at this opening set.
Game Seles.
And she's won the 3rd and leads 3 games to love.
Seles leads 3-love.
Our first lady guarding the harbor. And the Fuji blimp again with us today. Captains John McHugh and John McGurk at controls of this state-of-the-art airship. State-of-the-art tennis going on right now. The women's final. The first semifinal, men's today, between Edberg and Chang was the state-of-the-art.
Thank you.
Whoa, that's out of here.
That's up with the blimp.
Well, these shadows that have fallen across the court make things kind of tricky. Trying to pick up the pace of Seles' ball out of those shadows can be pretty... It's hard enough when there aren't shadows on the court, but she really mishit that one. But I think Sanchez Vicario is making a big mistake here. She's trying to trade pace with Seles, and that's exactly what Seles wants. Another mishit.
40.
Tony, what's the first thing you think about when you see those shadows on the court? I think of Slew Hester.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because they used to have the big scoreboard at a different position. It would cast a shadow, and we'd mention the shadow, and Slew would get mad at us.
Oh, he'd say the players don't complain about the shadows. Send our best wishes to Slew, who's chairman emeritus of the U.S. Open. Looking on, I'm sure, down in Mississippi.
15-40.
15-40.
Already down 1 break. There's Chris Everett and her husband Andy Mill and
Sitting
Mayor
next to his honor.
Game Seles.
She won this a couple of times.
4-love.
The last 3 tournaments, again, that Wimbledon final was a real surprise that she could only get 3 games from Groff. Then in L.A.
Thank you.
against Martina and against Sanchez Vicario. And again, both Martina and Arantxa played beautifully to beat Seles, but she had a sprained ankle in both those matches. She got her ankle taped for this match. What she's got really going for her today is her grunt. Do you notice how much noisier she is? At Wimbledon, she was, you couldn't get a peep out of her. And I really think it did affect that she was trying to suppress so hard the noise she emits upon contact. I think it took away from her ferocity.
Well, she had to be thinking about it. That's good stuff.
It's another look, the drop shot, and Arantxa does a good job to get there, and Seles says, adios, I'm not even going to chase it. Arantxa said, whoa, I got one. Mary, how differently was her tactics in the Canadian Open? Arantxa's.
Well, that's her first ace of the day. It really wasn't much different, although, as I said, she wasn't giving all this pace to Seles. This is just what Seles wants. When she's in control of the point, Sanchez Vicario, she gives the ball so many different looks, like that.
We have to also assume that Arantxa is nervous. It's only her second Grand Slam final. She won the French. And
it's Monica Seles' mom, Esther, who was very nervous before this match. As always. Nothing to be nervous about. She's smoking.
We'll be back at the U.S. Open after this word from your local station. Back at the stadium court, USTA's National Tennis Center, Monica Seles, 5-love in the first set. And again, the wait for the crowd to get into place.
Seats, please, behind the ends.
Seats, please, means very little.
Or quiet, please.
15 unforced errors in just 5 games from this woman. That doesn't even include the forced errors, the errors she's made off of a great Seles drive. Average of 3 a game. She's trying to create something. It's just not working for her yet.
30 love. Five, please. Thank you.
So Arantxa Sanchez Vicario's mom, Marissa, she's got a sister named Marissa as well. Arantxa's 2 famous brothers, Javier and Emilio, have gone home. They've both competed here at the Open. Her sister Marissa was a good tennis player in her own right, who picked up the phone one day, and it was Pepperdine College out in California, asking whether Emilio, her brother, would be interested in a scholarship. She said, "He's not home, but I'm real good." And she got it. And she was a good college player. And in fact, she's a sportscaster back home in Barcelona who must be happy to report that her kid sister has gotten her first game.
5-1. College football. Speaking of college, Michigan Notre Dame played to a 17-17 tie. Kent State over Temple. You saw the rest of those. North Carolina State and Maryland closer than expected. Boy, did she run down a lot of shots that it didn't seem she'd ever get to.
Again, very Chang-like. We've been mentioning it all day. She won't relent either unless she's really got to. And here she drew the error from Seles.
Barely.
Barely.
Break points now for Sanchez Vicario.
15-40. to Sanchez Vicario. 5-2 Seles, first set. Pat Summerall with Tony Trabert and Mary Carrillo. 5-2 Seles.
Yeah, he just took it, you know.
In the first set
No, I got a tallywhack.
of this championship.
Seles has been trying to press in the last few games, and it's cost her. Last 13 points, she's had 8 unforced errors.
Well, that's pressure. 15 all.
Monica takes the ball so early, and when she gets you out of position, gets you on the defensive, she just never lets you up.
Here it comes.
It's hard to take charge of the situation against Seles and to dictate play. Sanchez Vicario wants very badly to rope-a-dope it, mix things up, spins and slices and off-speed shots. But first, you've got to get control of the point, and that's difficult to do, especially off the Seles return.
$15.40.
2 set points now for Seles.
She does put on the pressure. She always looks like she's walking downhill. And gets there in a hurry.
I'd like to point out that little ball holder that Arantxa has in the back. Sticks one of the tennis balls back there and doesn't have to worry about it. Use it if she needs it for a second serve.
Wonder if she ever forgets it.
Couple of set points saved by Sanchez Vicario. This is another look at that last point. This one's a little too high. It bounces up as a result, and the rest was pretty easy. The drop shot has to be a low trajectory.
A little pressure from her.
Arantxa can do it all. She's been working with Mervyn Rose, who was an Australian Davis Cupper. There is Rosie on the right of your picture. And he's trying to get her to be more aggressive, learn to volley and handle the net better, and she has done that very, very well.
He was a pretty good tour player himself in the 50s. He won the Australian, the French, Wimbledon doubles.
I bet it's Sanchez Vicario.
She has the advantage. This is the game of the match so far.
She is built so much like Chang. She says of herself, "My spirit is my biggest weapon." Stared down a couple of set points. And now trying to make this competitive.
Well, she certainly made it competitive.
Of course, this woman can be pretty resolute herself.
Yeah. Always.
Just robbing Sanchez Vicario of time, closing in on this, and hitting the ball harder, shot for shot, than anyone who has ever played the game, any woman.
I don't know of one that took it earlier. A woman that's played and took it earlier than she does either.
Her whole game. She reminds me of absolutely no one.
Advantage Seles.
Here's another look. This is a tough point. A little too much on the forehand, trying to get it deep. And for the third time, it is set point for Monica Seles. Fourth time.
A lot of players practice the all-court game, but Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, even staring down a set point against her, is willing to take it to the net. And that's really been the breakthrough of this woman. A lot of confirmed baseliners practice the short court game but don't use it when they need to. Another set point. And I just don't think she's going to win the war of the baseline with power against this woman.
Got to be more junk.
Yeah.
Change the speeds, the pace.
She won another hardcourt title, Sanchez Vicario, apart from the Canadian a few weeks ago. That was a Lipton event where she had to beat Jennifer Capriati, who had beaten Seles there, and then Sabatini. She knows how to play on this stuff. Again, just like Chang, she built her reputation at the French Open the same year as Michael did in 1989. But she wants to be much more than a European ground stroker, and she's become one.
Advantage Sanchez Vicario.
Couple of great returns. It's 5-3 now, Seles. Let's go down to Andrea Joyce.
All right, Pat, hard to believe, but still to come today, the other men's semifinal matchup between Pete Sampras and Jim Courier. This has been a most grueling day for Stefan Edberg and Michael Chang, but their 5-hour, 26-minute match also impacts the players who are scheduled after them. Jim Courier had to wait all day till about 3:30 to warm up. He's now back in the locker room having an unscheduled meal. Pete Sampras is also in the locker room. He's shooting the breeze, killing some time with Jan Tiriak. He was actually giving Jan Tiriak a little bit of a shoulder rub a couple of minutes ago. The players seem relaxed and certainly giving a whole new meaning to the phrase, hang loose, guys.
Giving Tiriak a shoulder rub.
He's going to make a comeback.
Still to come,
15-all.
the winner of that match between Courier and Sampras to play Edberg. Earlier today, he beat Michael Chang in 5 sets. It took a long, long time.
5 hours and 26 minutes.
Seles serving at 5-3 in the first set of this women's championship. 30-15.
You see Sanchez Vicario wisely trying to slow down things. Walked out of the batter's box because Seles likes to play very, very quickly. You can see why Sanchez Vicario is one of the best women's doubles players in the world. She is comfortable at the net. She couldn't do enough with that one, but she still had control and angled it off away from Seles. A layup. A lot of work involved in getting herself to the net against Monica Seles. And then when she had a pretty simple forehand, she missed pretty badly. Opened up.
A little too flat, I think. And it gets Seles to set point.
She just had to poke it into the open court, too.
Maybe she tried to be a little too careful.
First set goes to Seles. 6-3. The last three were tough games. Stadium Court, the USTA's National Tennis Center.
Ready for play. Quiet, please.
Monica Seles has won the first set of this championship.
Seats, please.
And again, they'll wait until the crowd gets back in place.
Well, Seles kind of let, excuse me, Tony, Arantxa, look at this traffic snarl here. Logjam. Fans trying to get back to their seats. Seles really has to try to reestablish control of the points and get better penetration, as she had in the first few games of the match. The first 3 games, it was all Seles.
Behind the ends of the court. Thank you.
But she's hitting a little bit shorter in the last few games, and she wants to start set 2 a little crisper.
Quiet, please.
I think
If she
Arantxa
wants to
was
win
nervous.
this in straights.
No question about that. I think Arantxa was very nervous, excited, and that's why
Please.
she didn't really play her own game. She hit too hard, made too many mistakes. She's settled in now, so at least she's playing her style. We'll have to see whether it's good enough.
Seles is still hitting short. Sanchez Vicario cannot afford to miss those kind of shots right there. Seles is giving her an opening. You must be very opportunistic against Seles.
If you have the opportunity.
Take another look and see if we can tell.
Looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good. Matter of fact, I thought the alliance person back put the safe sign down. We saw another picture.
It's actually a very large point, too. First game is the second. And Sanchez Vicario is in a very deep hole right off the start. Buddy Williams of Hilton Head, South Carolina, is sticking with the calls. 2 questionable ones in a row.
Of course, that's the far sideline. That's the worst place she could try to overrule.
Sure.
That one did look out.
Seles very quickly. She wins the first game of the second set.
Studio joined by 6-time champion here at the U.S. Open, Chris Evert. Chris, nice of you to drop by and be part of this match involving the 2 finalists, Arantxa and Monica. What you've seen so far, are you surprised at the progress of the match?
Not really. I think Monica lost the last 3 tournaments that she played in, and there is no way in heaven she's going to lose this one. You know, she's too much of a champion. And, you know, Arantxa came out playing nervous tennis, and, you know, I think Arantxa has a better all-around game. She has more shots, but Monica's weapons are better than Arantxa's, and that being more power and more angles on her shots. So, you know, I picked Monica to win the whole tournament.
Well, it's 1-love Seles here in the second set. She's up a set. That's long, and 15-love. On the other hand, Sanchez Vicario has probably had the best tournament so far in terms of consistent play, and she came in here really feeling good about her game.
Yeah, she did. She's been playing really, really well and handling everyone very easily. But the other thing that I think she has working against her is that she has had a win over Monica the week before this tournament, and that's a no-no because Monica, again, I have such high regard for her. She doesn't lose very often to 2 people, the same person twice in a row. So Monica has really, I think, a little more incentive coming into this match.
Well, that's a point well taken. She certainly doesn't like to lose 2 in a row to anybody, and she's a very intense competitor. Has been bothered by a virus this week, but it hasn't shown in her tennis at all.
And I also think Monica's been in this situation so many more times than Arantxa. I think Arantxa, if it comes down to 5-all in the 3rd set, I think Arantxa might be a little more overwhelmed by the occasion. This is normal for Monica to be in this situation. think Arantxa also should keep up those drop shots. You know, she seemed to be getting a few points hitting short balls. We all know Monica does not like to venture to the net. But I'm just glad that she's in the match, because after watching the first few games, I thought it was going to be, you know, really no match at all, no contest.
From 5-love, wound up 6-3 in the first. That's just too good.
Yeah, she hits behind her opponent so well, you know, and Monica, she can pinpoint that shot. She can hit cross court down the line. She surprised Arantxa. Arantxa thought she was going cross court here. The one thing about two-handed players is they can wait to the last minute to change the direction of the ball, and that's what Monica does so well.
Very hard to read. 2-love Seles. This is almost a make-or-break game for Sanchez Vicario here. She's got to hold and somehow find a break in this set.
Arantxa has to run down a lot of balls, you know, move Monica from side to side, be patient, and just wait for that opening. Try a drop shot or come into the net. It sounds easy. It's not, but Arantxa certainly has the confidence to really get into this match. That's the angle I was talking about.
Yes, you used the whole court, didn't you?
She really has such sharp angles. Good mobility from both players, but look at the angle here. Good geometry lesson on that one. She really just flicks that wrist at the last minute and just decides where she wants to hit it. Here, Arantxa pretty much is the aggressor. She's in control, has Monica on the defensive, and here she flicks it, waits to the last minute, and then hits it. Encouraging. She says vamos. She's ole. She comes up with all these Spanish sayings. She really tries to get pumped up.
A hurtful double fault to double to a 30-all.
She needs this game, because if she loses this, she's down 3-love, and against Monica, you're pretty much out of the match at that point. Also, you kind of wonder how difficult it is for both players to wait 6 or 7 hours. I know Arantxa for a fact. She was out here about 10:30, 11 this morning, and she, you know, 6 or 7 hours later, she has to play her match, and you wonder if mentally that takes its toll after a while.
We saw some tape earlier of Monica coming out even earlier than Arantxa. So they've both been here a long time. But again, that mental toughness we've already seen in the success of Seles' play in the championships. But Arantxa wins that point.
Monica actually at the French Open final, she had a practice score at 8:30, you know, and then she ended up playing at 2 o'clock, and for some reason she likes to play early, go back to her hotel, relax a little bit. I know I always like to play, you know, practice right before the match, get warm.
the original longest day of Super Saturday. You were part of that. You had a long wait up there. How long was it?
Right. We got on about 4:30. It was another, 6-hour, 5-hour, 6-hour match. It was tough.
I know on October 30th you have your Chris Evert Pro Celebrity event in Florida, and this year proceeds, some of which are going to Hurricane Andrew victims.
Right, the hurricane relief, to all the treatment centers and the rehabilitation centers for drug-addicted mothers and their children. So we're looking forward to it. We have a good cast.
Worthy causes. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more from the U.S. Open in a moment.
That's the situation. The women's finals. Monica Seles leads Arantxa Sanchez Vicario 6-3 and 2-1.
And I really enjoyed listening to Chrissy describe this match. She's right on the money, I think, about everything she said. And no better person to talk about the U.S. Open, I think, than that woman, Chris Evert.
Not much of a surprise. You get some knowledgeable response from Chris. Youngest ever U.S. Open women's champion, recently inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame.
Won it at 16, then won it again at 18.
15-all.
Haven't been too many people with the #1 ranking. Chrissy was very stingy about it, held on to it for a long time, then Tracy took it. Martina, Steffi, now this woman has been sitting on top for a while. Chris Evert made me want to be a tennis player. I was out at the U.S. Open wanting to be a ball kid. That was my dream until the day I watched Chrissy climb back from way down, a set in 5-1 against Marianne Eisel. I happened to be there for the match that made Chrissy famous. She got all the way to the semis, her first U.S. Open. That's when I decided I want to be just like her. Boy, I've fallen short, but nice person to try to be like, let me tell you.
Long to go.
Match an hour old.
Sanchez Vicario has wisely decided not to hang around on the baseline and try to trade bullets. She's saying, think, think. It's not easy when you're getting pounded. You don't get a lot of time to think against Seles. That's the smart stuff that Chrissy mentioned would work well against Seles. She's still uncomfortable when she's pulled in against her will, and especially stretched out to that side.
If you can make her let go with one hand too, she's not as effective.
We spoke to Monica Seles just yesterday, and she sounded so congested, and she had bags under her eyes. She really wasn't looking too well. But all the effects of a cold that she got from a too cold air-conditioned locker room last week, and all the problems she's had are vigorously undisplayed in this final.
Terrific to be able able to hit that kind of a winner from that position in the court. See, she's behind the baseline. Hit it cross court inside the corner of that service box.
Just too big a gun.
And it's so difficult to read, too. The sky's on it. You can't tell which direction she's going to hit it. 2 break points now. Seles didn't like the call on the serve, thought it was long.
Said, oh, come on. Break point. Still gets the break and leads 4-1.
Seles leads 4-1.
Women's Championship of 1992. And coming up still here on CBS, Jim Courier against Pete Sampras. The other men's semifinal, the first this afternoon, won here on the stadium court by Stefan Edberg in 5 sets. Over 5 hours. And tomorrow, the men's championship. The winner of the upcoming match to play Edberg tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern after football.
Please. Behind the court. Thank you.
Monica Seles serving and leading 4-1 in the second set after winning the first 6-3.
That was good. That was great. What a shot.
Pretty good touch.
Clock 15.
This is not easy, and I'm not exactly sure that's... Well, I guess she was trying to do that, directing it that way and hit right on the line.
15.
Ole. And she's lost the next point, so it's 15-all. Break points now for Sanchez Vicario.
Seles up 4-1.
Monica's mother making more notes.
Still taking notes.
It's I know many people, I get letters all the time, you know, why can't anybody keep Monica from grunting? But I tell you, it's nice to see it back, you know, for her sake.
Well, you miss it.
Well, she missed it. I honestly
Yeah.
think so. I mean, she's really being noisy out there, and her shots have got their noise back. Seles is still not getting the depth that she normally enjoys from her ground stroke game, but she got some nice angle off of that one.
It's almost like she can't wait for the ball to get there so she can hit it again. Deuce.
Advantage.
You just can't direct the ball any better than this with this kind of pace.
Monica leads 5-1. Second set.
Again, continually, Seles with the big blast of heat, and Sanchez Vicario, she's done a couple of times. You know, she just can't match that pace.
Constant pressure.
Seles hits so hard, so often, so early, with so few errors.
Like that. So early, so hard. And good.
This is by far the best match she's played at the 92 U.S. Open. Against the toughest opponent.
It has to be just frustrating for her. What do I do?
Yeah. She had that's her third double fault. She coming in here, you know, Sanchez Vicario, obviously she doesn't have the big guns of drop, the serve and volley game of Martina Navratilova that can actually beat the Seles game. She had to try to get Seles to beat herself by throwing everything at her. But Seles did not comply.
Well, she was so confident coming in. Not over yet, obviously, but it'll be a tough comeback if such would happen. That's good. That's pretty impressive statistic, isn't it?
That really is. Some pretty good names underneath that of Monica Seles. Well, none of those listed were flash in the pan.
That's long. And here we go. Match point, double match point, as a matter of fact.
Quiet, please.
Saves. Still championship point. Deuce.
Sanchez Vicario is making her work for it.
That was right on both lines.
Advantage Sanchez Vicario.
She certainly is. That's a lookout. And that ball gets that short. Deuce. Ace. Her first.
Advantage Sanchez Vicario.
We'll be back at the U.S. Open after this word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the United States Open Tennis Championship.
Monica Seles ready to serve and now waiting for the crowd to settle. It's been windy and cool all day long.
What a great effort from this purebred retriever in that last game. A couple of match points down. She's still in there. It's a real pity that Arantxa Sanchez Vicario had a bad start to both sets here. So as you can see, she's dogged. I mean, she's willing to try to fight for these points. But it's probably too little too late at this point.
30 love. Sometimes you wonder why that happens. Why you get off to a bad start. In the first set may be understandable, but not both of them.
Broken right away in the second. Again, showing off power and touch. Nice 1-2 combination. Lovely little bunt. But she's still within a couple of points of being out of this final. Tough to get the last word on Seles from the baseline.
$30 all.
Didn't get the call. So from 30 love, it's a break point.
hard to tell, as it always is, and as we always say, it looks, when we replay it, it looks a little fuzzy. Or maybe it's me.
No. It was furry from here, too. Someone yelled, "Vamos, let's go," to Sanchez Vicario, and she took that last game.
Well, now it's 5-3 earlier today. An incredible match. Edberg over Chang.
5-2.
Over 5 hours, 5:26, the exact time. That's why. You just think what might have happened if she didn't get off to such a poor start in both sets.
Exactly. These two sets shook out the same way, didn't they?
Love 30 against Seles, 2 points away from the championship.
She's won 2 Grand Slam titles in 1992. The Australian and the French was a finalist at Wimbledon.
15-40.
And now 1 point away from her 3rd Grand Slam of 92.
Sometimes all you can do is just wave at it.
Yep. Seles, if she wins this, will have won 3 of the 4 Grand Slams. Steffi Graf paid her a high compliment before this event started. Steffi, of course, took Wimbledon this year, and when someone asked her if Steffi wins the Open, would she consider herself to be number 1, she said, "Nope. It's Monica's year."
Called out. Well, our colleague Tony Trabert left 2 games ago to go down to be part of the presentation ceremony. Maybe he left too early.
Quietly. Thank you.
Another championship point.
It's just great effort, isn't it? Sanchez Vicario refuses to go down.
It's just fun to watch. Enjoy.
Boy, 5 match points. She's been able to deflect Sanchez Vicario, but she went to the well again off that little drop shot and poked it wide.
Deuce number 3.
Advantage, Sanchez Vicario.
Watch Monica Seles do that. A very big point. Sanchez Vicario getting her teeth back in the match. The courage to swing away as she does just verges on the absolute.
Another deuce.
Going wide. She went for that pesky little drop shot again. But Seles fielded it. And adds another match point, her 6th. She's good at this stuff.
Monica's headed over in the direction of her mother.
Boy, that's good. The Seles camp was really worried about Monica's health. She'd been under the weather, as you can...
Let's quickly go down to Tim Ryan.
All right, Pat, there is the women's champion for the 2nd year in a row, Monica Seles, 18 years of age, yet another Grand Slam title, and clearly not feeling well. It looks like she's trying to get off in a hurry, and that is understandable, but Mayor David Dinkins of New York there to greet her, and she stopped to talk to one of her biggest fans and one of tennis's biggest fans. But Monica, I'm sure will be back out for the trophy presentation. And we will be back with, of course, the men's 2nd semifinal after the trophy. Monica Seles has won her 2nd consecutive women's championship, and for the trophy presentation, let's go to courtside and Tony Trabert.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice round of applause for 2 great champions? It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Steve Sadov, the president of Clairol, who will present a check to the runner-up, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. Steve?
Thanks, Tony. Clairol has proudly sponsored the Women's Championships for the past 18 years. We're honored to be able to recognize today's finalists. Arantxa, we're proud to be able to present you a check for $250,000. Thank you.
And Steve, you also have a very handsome check for our winner.
Monica, you are just terrific. We have a check today for you in the amount, the largest amount in U.S. Open history, for $500,000.
Monica, first of all, congratulations. For the second year in a row, you've won 3 Grand Slams. You've defended your title here. How does that feel for you?
It feels wonderful. I had a wonderful 2 weeks. I enjoy coming here every year, and today's match was just really tough. It was just a great final, so I'm just very happy.
Well, we know you haven't been feeling well. I thought you played awfully well under the circumstances.
Well, I was not feeling well about 2-3 days ago. I lost my voice and had a cold, but today I was back to normal. So
Congratulations. And now it's my privilege to introduce the President of the United States Tennis Association and the Chairman of the U.S. Open, Mr. Robert Cookson. Bob?
Thank you, Tony, very much. On behalf of the United States Tennis Association, it's my privilege to present this trophy to Monica, the 1992 Women's Singles Champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1992 U.S. Open Women's Champion, defending her title, Monica Seles.
Well, there she is, Monica Seles, a worthy champion indeed, #1 in women's tennis and champion at the U.S. Open. We'll be back with Courier and Sampras at the U.S. Open.